One of the strangest and mysterious items in Breath of the Wild is this black cloak or cape that Link wears. We've seen him equipped with this cape a number of times, including during the 2014 E3 presentation, the 2014 Game Awards show, and the 2015 Nintendo Minute. There's also the Rider amiibo, which also features Link with the black cape on a horse. And during last year's E3, Nintendo released this image with Link on a horse again, but this time wearing a blue cape. But how did Link obtain the cape, and what exactly is its purpose? Let's explore. Before analyzing how Link obtained the cape, it's important to note that every time Link has been equipped with the cape, he is on a horse, and not just any horse, but this brown colored one with both a black mane and tail, and the white spots near the legs. This is also true of the Rider amiibo. And in this scene where Link is being chased by a guardian, Link removes the cape before ultimately jumping out of the horse, possibly suggesting that he can only wear the cape when he's on a horse, or that the cape's functionality only works when he's on a horse. Moving forward, as I will demonstrate, I think Link is heavily influenced by the Gerudo tribe, and most likely obtains the cape from the old man, who also wears a black cape, and who I believe is affiliated with the Gerudo tribe. As I covered in my Gerudo return video, there's ample evidence to suggest that the Gerudo play an important role in Breath of the Wild, as we have seen what appears to be a Gerudo town, a Gerudo female character, and Gerudo red flags similar to those found in Ocarina of Time. And in addition to Link's arm guards bearing the Gerudo design, we can also see from this fight with Step Talus, the giant rocky creature from the E3 trailer, that the back of Link's undershirt also has what appears to be Gerudo designs. Even more, one of the shields that Link obtains in the game, the Traveler's Shield, appears to have a Sheikah-looking eye. However, a closer inspection reveals that the shield may have some Gerudo origin, as it has the two snakes on opposite sides, somewhat similar to Ganondorf's sash design from the Wind Waker, and also similar to the two snakes on opposite sides of Ganondorf's chest plate from Twilight Princess. In fact, if we look inside the Spirit Temple, which is located within the Desert Colossus, we can see that there are two snakes on opposite sides, with the visible Gerudo sign near the snakes on both sides. On top of all of that, there appears to be even more evidence which may suggest the Gerudo's overwhelming presence in the game, namely these black flags which we've seen mostly on the road leading to Hyrule Castle and the Calamity Ganon, as well as some other places in the game, appear to bear a symbol that is eerily similar to the Gerudo emblem, as we can see from this image, which I've zoomed in and sharpened for better contrast. Of course, if the black flags do indeed represent the Gerudo, it's unclear what the role of the red flags would be. We know from Ocarina of Time that the red flags marked Gerudo territory, although it's possible that the Gerudo either changed the way they marked their territory, or perhaps the tribe split into two factions. Either way, the Gerudo influence on Link is no doubt present. Now, as I noted, Link likely obtains the black cape from the old man, who also wears a black cape. The old man wears his cape over his purple hoodie, and we can see that the lines on the cape are not patterns, but rather are the stitching or sewing marks which attach the cape to his purple hoodie. But why would the old man wear the cape over the purple hoodie, given that the purple hoodie is already concealing his head? Well, looking more carefully, we can notice that the old man's cape, part of which rests in front of him near his shoulders, has two golden triangles on it, one on each side of his body. And the pattern on Link's cape also has two triangles, albeit red in color. We'll analyze Link's cape and the patterns on it more thoroughly in a bit, but before we do that, let's focus on the old man's cape first. Could his cape and the two golden triangles on it have any significance? Otherwise, why would he wear another layer of clothing when he's already got the purple hoodie? Could the cape, coupled with the golden triangles, provide him with some sort of abilities? For example, the ability to travel faster and or traverse higher elevations? Let me explain. Link first meets the old man near the alcove not too far from the Shrine of Resurrection. However, during Link's next encounter with the old man, we can see the old man coming down out of nowhere with the help of the paraglider. We see the same type of travel when the old man visits Link high up in the mountains. While the paraglider certainly plays a role in helping the old man come down at a smooth pace, how can he just appear out of nowhere even when Link is very high up in the mountains? Well, it's possible that the old man's cape gives him the ability to travel faster, or possibly traverse in some manner through the air. Alternatively, it's possible that the old man is wearing the cape with the 2 golden triangles for symbolic reasons, and he may even be either a member of the Sheikah tribe or have loyalties with the Sheikah. Perhaps he's doing so in defiance of or as some type of a protest to the Hylian royal family, which obviously holds the Triforce as sacred. Now, why would he do that? Well, as we can clearly see, both of the golden triangles are upside down, and we know from Zeltic and his team's work on the tapestry that the King of Hyrule banished the Sheikah, even though it was the Sheikah and their 4 giant mechanical divine beasts that ultimately sealed the Calamity Ganon. The old man also confirmed that the Sheikah tribe had disappeared a long time ago, or so it was said. However, from the recent screenshot and concept art by Nintendo, this town is clearly a Sheikah town, as is evident from the Sheikah Eye here and the blue Sheikah banners in here. And given everything we know, it is likely in a hidden area like Hidden Valley in Twilight Princess, given the Sheikah's banishment and Old Man's comments that they disappeared, meaning that they are likely living in hiding. So what if the old man is a Sheikah and is wearing the cape with the 2 upside down triangles as a sign of disrespect to the Hylian royal family for the banishment of the Sheikah, similar to how there was an upside down Triforce in the parallel world of Lorule, and to the upside down triangle found in the pillars leading up to Icana Valley in the parallel world of Termina, which showed the upside down triangle under a castle, which in turn was under an image of King Egostu Icana, clearly displaying the single triangle in a condescending light as an ultimate rebuke to the Hyrule royal family and the 3 goddesses. Well, we'll find out soon enough. Either way, Link likely receives the cape from the old man, given that the old man has been helping Link throughout his adventure by giving him both the paraglider and the quilted shirt. But what about Link's cape and the patterns on it? Can we gather any clues that may help us ascertain its purpose and or further explain the story? It's obvious that Link's cape and the old man's cape are both black in color. However, just as the old man's cape has 2 golden triangles, Link's cape also has 2 triangles, albeit red in color. Could these triangles signify anything, or is it just a coincidence that both the old man and Link have black capes, and both of their capes just coincidentally happen to have 2 triangle symbols on them, albeit in different colors and positioned in different parts of the cape? It's likely that there's some type of a connection. The patterns on Link's cape are interesting, to say the least, and can be interpreted a number of ways. For example, there appears to be some resemblance between these circled patterns on Link's cape and this feather-looking pattern found on the scarf of the bird creature, although it is a fairly attenuated connection. Could these circled items on Link's cape represent feathers, similar to the bird creature's feather-looking pattern here? This might especially be the case given that in past Zelda games, like Oracle of Seasons, we had the Rock's Feather, which is upgradable to the Rock's Cape. Of course, the Rock's Feather made Link lighter and allowed him to jump to greater heights, and the Rock's Cape allowed Link to jump and glide farther than even with the Rock's Feather. So it's possible that these patterns represent feathers, and perhaps the cape serves some type of a role in helping Link travel and or somehow traverse the air. Another possibility is that the patterns may actually be a representation of a human or even a tree, like the Great Deku Tree. For example, the top portion here could be the crown of the tree. These additional patterns here could represent the branches and leaves of the tree, and the bottom portion could represent the trunk of the tree. Even more crazier, could these 2 patterns represent the guardians, perhaps being constrained by the 2 red triangles? These are all just guesses, but the main takeaway here is that the patterns are not insignificant, as patterns on garments and scarves clearly signify or identify something important. In short, the cape likely provides Link with some type of an ability, or perhaps with greater stealth or stamina when he's wearing it. However, perhaps an even more sinister possibility, could the old man be a Gerudo and even Ganondorf himself? Which could explain the Gerudo's return in Breath of the Wild, and perhaps also explain the reason for the old man's hoodie, namely to cover the center jewel that would make it so obvious that it's Ganondorf. What if the 2 triangles signify that the old man has 2 of the 3 triangles necessary to complete the Triforce, and only needs 1 more? Or the opposite? As I covered both in this video and in my Gerudo return video, there's ample evidence to suggest that the Gerudo play an important role in Breath of the Wild, and given that color typically has played a role in identifying certain groups or tribes, and the fact that the cape is the same color as these flags, which appear to have a Gerudo-looking symbol on them, there just might be some connection. For example, it appears that these blue garments and scarves possibly represent some kind of a connection to the Hylian royal family. Moreover, the color blue may also have some connection with the Sheikah, given that their banners as well as much of their technological apparatus is also blue. Of course, there are still some unexplained issues. For example, didn't the Gerudo mark their territory with red flags, not black? So how could this be? Did the Gerudo split into different factions perhaps? Another counter-argument to the theory that the black cape may have some Gerudo influence is the fact that we've also seen Link in a blue cape. How can we explain that away? Well, it's possible that there are different colored capes, and there's also the possibility that one cape may exist in one era and another one in another era. Although given the similarities in designs, I would argue that the capes likely came from the same source, the Old Man. The other question is whether the capes have different abilities. Perhaps when Link needs to connect with one group, say the Goron who's wearing a blue scarf, he would need to be in a blue cape, and if he needs to connect with another group, perhaps the black cape. We shall see. It should also be noted that the gameplay footage from the Nintendo Switch event shows that the game's initial title screen actually begins with this image of Link with the blue cape, so we know that the capes will play some important role. In conclusion, I think Link obtains the black cape from the Old Man, and whether or not the Old Man is Ganondorf himself or whether the black cape has Gerudo influence remains to be seen, but there's certainly an argument to be made, as I did in this video. It's also likely that the Old Man is also the one who gave Link the blue cape, since we know he's already given Link the quilted shirt and the paraglider. In short, the Old Man seems to know where things are and keeps good tabs on Link, and I believe his main goal is to do everything he can to help defeat Calamity Ganon, which is a vile entity possibly not even connected to Ganondorf himself, and one of the ways is by supplying Link with these capes which will potentially have some abilities, perhaps involving this horse. Time will tell. Well, that's it for now. I'd love to hear what you guys think about all of this. Thank you for watching, and as always, please don't forget to like the video and share it with family and friends, and if you haven't already done so, please subscribe to our channel, Gagz Gaming. This has been Gagz Gaming. Have a wonderful day.